Hi and welcome. This is going to be a quick video on how to do a concept map. Now, one of the things that I have set recently for my year sevens as part of their homework is to do a concept map. And understandably, there's been a variety of different levels of confidence from the year sevens that I have received work from, ranging from, yeah, we're really on top of it, to actually we really don't quite know how to make a start on it. So delving a little bit deeper, I tried to find a resource online where it would actually list all of the important points for getting started on a concept map. And to be honest, I couldn't actually find something that could be easily accessible to high school students. There were lots and lots of articles where they actually did give a lot of detail, but the reading age of it just seemed to be quite high, which is really a shame because concept mapping is actually a really good resource to utilize, especially when you're trying to revise. So what I thought I would do is I thought I would just make my own. So here we have a typical page from the textbook that we actually use. The topic is distillation, 7EE distillation, for those people who are accessing this from my school. So this is a year 7 topic. That's a tricky topic as well. It's distillation, not very easy to get your head around. So how do we transfer this over to a concept map? Now, the first thing that we need to do is we need to try and get a central theme. So I'm going to try and do this as quickly as possible because I don't really want to spend too much time wasting your own precious time. I appreciate that. And the first thing about concept mapping is make some kind of like central theme where it's actually really easy to figure out where the main ideas are coming from. So this one is 7E distillation. We're pretty cool with that. So I'm just going to put 7E. And what you essentially need to do is you need to kind of like get the main ideas from the text. So let's have a quick read through this. How do we make seawater drinkable is the subheading. Many countries drinking water comes from rainwater. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the text. I'm just going to lift up the important facts. The important facts, you don't have to put all of the facts down in the concept map. So for those of you who are beginners, don't be put off by all of the text. It's really important that you approach it thinking, I don't have to put all of the text down. I don't have to write all of the sentences out in full. All I need to do is try and link the ideas from one to the next. So what I'll do is I'll read through the paragraphs and I will help you pick out the ideas and we'll then transfer them over to our concept map. So let's have a look. In many countries, drinking water comes from rainwater that collects in rivers, lakes, and reservoirs. However, drier countries need to get their drinking water from other sources. Over 70%. So already we can come up with a bigger picture kind of thing. So Google Slides is actually really useful with this one because you can draw a shape on there and it actually allows you to link from one shape to the next. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of like pop this one over here, and then I'm going to link this to here. And so this particular theme from the first paragraph was big picture. So I'm just going to put bigger picture because this first paragraph is actually telling us, all right, okay, so in the grander scale of things, this is actually really useful for us in our everyday lives. So I'm just going to put that here. All right. So just rotate this around. Now you can do this in a much more efficient way just by using paper and pen. Okay. So bigger picture, and then we can say getting water where it is scarce in the world. Okay, right. Okay, so that's pretty good. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to expand this a little bit. I need to make this central theme perhaps a little more dominant. So I'm just going to pick a color. just to make the central theme like the most important one. Okay, and you can tailor this to however you feel it should be tailored to. Okay, so distillation, bigger picture, getting water where it is scarce in the world, it is fine. Or you could even simplify it to helps regions where water is hard to get. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Helps in regions, we could say. All right, just there we go. All right, so that deals with this first paragraph. So it says, in many countries, drinking water comes from rainwater that collects in rivers, lakes, and rivers. However, drier countries need to get their drinking water from other sources. Okay, so now the next paragraph starts with, over 70% of the Earth's surface is covered in water. Most of this is seawater, which contains too many solutes to be safe to drink. Now, that's actually a really important keyword, okay? Because solutes means that you have a solid that has dissolved successfully in solvent. So here we actually have the solvent, which is water, and the solute pretty much could be the sea salt. Okay, so let's just read through the next part. Drinking water can be made from seawater using a process called desalination. Now, that seems to be a very, very important point and word in this paragraph. So we're going to try and put that in our concept map. Desalination removes most of the salts from water. This requires expensive equipment and a lot of space. So it's only suitable in some places. And this is now starting to become quite an elaborate paragraph. So let's have a look and try and break this down. So over 70% of the Earth's surface is covered in water. So if we go back to our map, we can then have another shape, okay? And let us just copy this one, okay? And I suppose this could be like 70% of the Earth is water. And it seems to be like a fun fact, really. It seems to be like a fun fact. So we could have that as part of our bigger picture. Okay, so let's just move this, trying to move the icon. There we go. So, and we're going to use our arrow. So this is like the second part of our concept map. Okay, so that's a nice line. Okay, so let me just do this. I just need to have an arrow, good old Google Slides, and join the arrow between there and there. Oh, there we go, there and there. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. Okay, now this seems to be like a fun fact. Okay, so 70% of the Earth and water is water. Okay, so then what we need to do is we need to go back to our original paragraph. Most of this is seawater. Okay, which contains too many solutes to be safe to drink. Okay, so back to our concept map. Okay, so let's do another line here. All right, and we'll also do another little point in the concept map. Okay, so we can then say most contains, it's going back to the paragraph, most of this is seawater, which contains too many solutes to be safe to drink. Most not safe to drink because of solutes. Okay. And somewhere I want to actually put seawater. So I'm actually thinking about this, and I'm thinking, right, okay, let's just say seawater is not safe to drink because of solutes. Okay, all right, and then we can pick another line. Let's do a line from here to here. Okay. Then what we can do is we can just expand this one. Okay. 70% of the Earth is water, mainly seawater. Okay, and then when we look at this one, it's linked. Seawater is not safe to drink because of solutes. Okay, let's just make it a little bit neat and tiny. So I'll just link this one over here, and then I'll just bring this shape down here. So now we're starting to get our ideas together within the concept maps itself. Okay, so that's essentially what a concept map does. So at this stage, what I can do is I can actually look at the concept map, and I'm thinking, are there too many words? Okay, so I can reduce it down just a little bit. Seawater not safe to drink because of solutes. 70% of the Earth is water, mainly seawater. Helps in regions where water is hard to get. Right. Okay. Okay. Right. So now we go back to the actual text itself. So we're going to look at that. Drinking. So we've dealt with this one. Drinking water can be made from seawater using a process called desalination. Okay. So now we go back to this part over here, and here, what I'd like to do is I'd like to think, right, okay, made safe by. That's the link. So can make safe, all right, by, or you could say can be made safe by, can be made safe by, okay, and that would be my next link. So I'm going to put the link here. So it's going to be quite, it's going to go quite in quite a few places around this piece of paper. That's fine. Okay, so I can copy paste that, and then I can change that to desalination. Okay, so this is basically coming together quite nicely. Okay, it's coming together quite nicely because the ideas are linked to the text. I'm not losing any of the information unnecessarily in the text. And here we go. So I'm just going to move that here, and then I'm going to get my arrow, just join it here. And now what I'm thinking is let's just make this a little bit smaller so I can actually fit it in. And then what I could do is I could just bring that up over here, and I've got the perfect link. Okay, and so that's essentially another link in the map. Okay, so that's that. I'm happy with that. So seawater not safe to drink because of solutes can be made safe by desalination. Okay, so that's actually a really good link because it shows how the water needs to be made a lot more safer because of the solutes. And we can actually have the process that it's made safe by desalination. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our text. Desalination removes most of the salts from the water. This requires expensive equipment and a lot of space. So it's only suitable in some spaces, in some places. So expensive equipment, lot of space. Okay, so think about that. So there's actually two ideas there. Lots of space. Okay, so now what we can do is you can just try and fit that in. Okay, and we have another one over here, expensive equipment. Okay, so I might need to just make my box a little bit bigger. Okay, there we go. Let's have a look over here, just make it just there. There we go. All right. So these sound like drawbacks. Okay, these actually sound like drawbacks. So you can't actually set this up everywhere because not everywhere can afford it, and not everywhere has the space for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that, paste that, and I'm going to have another link, drawbacks. Okay, now I'm going to be able to put this just in here. Okay, and that allows me to just position that here, and that's fine. So I could put that there, or I could put that here, because maybe I might want to put another concept just next to it. And I'm just going to look back over here now. So really, I think you get the idea that with concept mapping, what you need to do is you need to go back to the text and then forward and backwards, forward and backwards, forward and backwards. Okay. So most of this is seawater. Just make sure that I have read through all of the text. Most of this is seawater, contains too many solutes to be safe to drink. Drinking water can be made from seawater using a process called desalination. We talked about that. Removes most of the salts from the water. Now, I haven't got that. So what I'm going to do is I kind of need to have something like, what is it? What it is. Okay. What is it? Okay. So that would be a nice link. Like, what does the process do? Yeah. So let's have a look. Just copy this and then move it up. Remove solutes. Okay, removes solutes. Remember, solutes are whatever is dissolved in our solvent, right? Okay, so I'm just going to put that there. Now, at this stage, I'm kind of thinking, maybe I could just shrink down things, because the ideas are now, they're good ideas, and there's lots of information that are coming on my concept map, but I just need to make sure that they all fit in, because I do want to keep room for other ideas. And my guess is that that's probably what people who are starting with concept maps find a little bit daunting. So don't worry. My recommendation would be try and do your concept maps in pencil. If you do a concept map in pencil and you do make a mistake, don't worry. That's perfectly fine. You can just rub it out and then redo the lines and the shapes and the positions. It's absolutely fine. When you're starting out with concept maps, don't put pressure on yourself. You don't have to get it right the first time. Okay, so now I'm just dragging this back over here. So this is perfect, right? Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. Okay, so I could actually simplify this one now, okay? Because I'm looking back at it and I'm thinking, right, okay, this link that's above could be something that we make a little easier to understand if we are looking back at it. So I can now say that this link over here, or this fact here, can be linked to this one over here, because 70% of the Earth is water, and it is mainly seawater. And now what I could do is think about this fact over here, where I've got seawater not safe to drink because of solutes. Now I'm looking ahead, and I'm thinking, can be made safe to drink by, and then if I have that, then I could actually cut out this part here. And this one over here could be, instead of what is it, or I could actually change it to, what does it do? What does it do? Okay, what does it do? All right, so reading this, I automatically will know, right, okay, what does it do means that, what does it do to help it become safe to drink? And it does that by removing solutes, which is perfect, okay? So I'm just going to try and fit it in a little better here. Try and fit this link in a little better here. Just rotate this around. And so now what's happened is that I'm really thinking deeply about the ideas and how they link. And now what I can do is I can now take this out, shrink this, and hey presto, I've actually got a better kind of clearer picture with the links, and there's not too many there aren't too many words, and that's the critical thing. Don't have too many words in your concept map, because if you have too many words, you try it then becomes a set of revision notes, and you don't want it to be a set of revision notes. What you actually want it to be is you want it to be a map that shows all of the ideas that are that are linked together in the material that you've got. Okay, so let's zoom out over here. Let's just think about this. Right. Okay. So you got 7E distillation. The bigger picture is that it helps in regions where water is hard to get in the world. Okay. Now that links to 70% of the Earth is water. That is mainly seawater. It can be made safe to drink by desalination, but the drawbacks are lots of space, expensive equipment. And by the way, what does desalination do? Desalination removes solutes. So I'm fairly pleased with that. I'm quite happy with how the concept map is getting along. Now, what we can do is we can now move on to the next bit. Now, this is an interesting fact over here. I like this fact. It says seawater is dangerous to drink because it contains high levels of sodium chloride, table salt. In your body, sodium chloride removes water from your cells, which makes you even thirstier. Okay, so over here, I could actually put another arrow, and then I could have something about the sodium chloride. Removes sodium chloride. Let me just go back to the fun fact. Removes sodium chloride. And it's dangerous. Okay, in your body, sodium chloride removes water from your cells, which makes you even thirstier. Removes sodium chloride. Let's have a look. So we can actually, if I zoom out, so I could have removed solutes, e.g., sodium chloride. Okay, I'll think about the font in a moment, but there could be a reason why, and I could put makes you thirstier. Okay, so over here it says, in your body, sodium chloride removes water from cells, which makes you even thirstier. Okay, so the danger of it is that it removes water from cells. Okay, and makes you thirstier. Okay, so I could put that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to try and figure out how to fit it in, because clearly I need some space over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this just over here, and I'm just going to put this shape over here. And this is a wonderful wonderful way of using Google Slides, because now what I can do is I can actually manipulate and change things around. So although it may seem to be the case that it's faster doing this using pen and paper, there's absolutely nothing wrong with using pen and paper. Now what I need to do is when you're doing a concept map, you may find that you actually change your mind as to where everything should go. So I'm going to move this one over here just to centralize it. And then I think I can just spin this one round. So let's just make sure it's level. Can be made safe to drink. So I'm just going to shorten that, make safe to drink by. Okay. Make safe to drink by. And that's it. I can just rotate this one round. Okay. Let's just have a look. Just over here. I'm just going to move it here, and then remove solutes, e.g. sodium chloride. Why dangerous? I think I just want to have why danger. Why dangerous? Okay. I mean, I could put like why harmful. That's absolutely fine. Let's have a look. And let's just get the font in. Okay, and I will just say let's say we might need to make this a little bit longer over here. That's absolutely fine. And then, so you can put it like this and then just fit it in. Okay, there we go. All right, so we'll need to maybe move this one. I think at this rate, at this stage now, I can actually make this a little bit bigger and then just move the arrows here and just shrink this, move it down, and then position it. So the fun thing about it is that you do get a chance if you're using a computer, you do get a chance to move things around. But if you kind of like, you can get to a stage where everything just becomes, I've got to fit it in, and that's absolutely fine. But the more that you do it, the more that you can position your ideas around without, in the right place. So I'm looking over here and I'm thinking, right, okay, that's fine. That's fine. And now what I can do is look back at the text. It's a lovely picture of Jebel Ali's desalination plant. I've actually driven past it many times. So that could be a fun fact. Is it essential? It's not actually essential. It's just a useful thing to know. 800 million litres of drinking water each day. That's a fun fact. One of the ways in which seawater is desalinated is called distillation. Right. Okay. So this is actually the central theme. Okay. So what does it do? Removes solutes. And then what I can do is I can link this here. So I've actually linked it back to my central idea. And if I save myself a bit of time, process, one way to do it. There we go. So I can actually now have my original central theme linked to the map as it has been produced. Okay, so I'm just going to just fit it in. One way to do it is distillation. Okay, so now I go back. So now the next part over here looks like it's describing what distillation is. So I need to, that sounds really, really important, okay? So the seawater is heated so that the water evaporates to form steam. The steam is collected and cooled so it condenses back into liquid water. This distilled water is pure. It contains no solutes because the solutes in seawater cannot evaporate and are left behind. So it sounds as if there's like 6 facts there. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to try and figure out where we're going to put the how. Okay, so let's bring ourselves back to here. Now, I'm just going to do a quick one over here. So let's copy and paste that. And I'm just going to move this. And I think what I need to do is I need to have something like, how is it done? Okay, so just move that over here. And then we can say, right, okay, well, we can have like a step-by-step process. So let's have this just moved over here. I just need the arrow, so I just need to move that up here, and then let's just move this here, connect it here. Okay, right, so heat the water. Heat the seawater. Well, does it apply to other things? It does apply to other things. So I could say heat the solution. That's absolutely fine. But in this situation, I've actually got seawater. So I could say how it's done with how it is done with seawater. And that makes sense. Okay. Let's just be consistent with this. Right, okay, so how is it done with seawater? First of all, you got to heat it, okay? Heat the seawater. And then you need to evaporate steam. So if I just pop this just over here to evaporate steam. Okay, so that's that process. so the water evaporates to form steam. Now, that's actually quite subtle, okay? So the subtle because you're not evaporating the seawater, you're actually evaporating the water, okay? So heat the seawater to evaporate, I'm just looking back, the seawater is heated so that the water evaporates to form steam. Okay, so in actual fact, that sounds as if it's actually another idea. So heat the seawater, right? Okay, and then I can say water evaporates to form steam. Okay, so do I really need an arrow for this? Do I need to label the arrow? I don't think so. Okay, I just have to be careful as to how this is going to fit. So water evaporates to form steam. Now, go back to my original idea. It is the steam is collected and cooled, so it condenses back into liquid water. Okay, so here what I need to do is I need to have some way of suggesting that the steam is turning back to water. Okay, right, here we go. So the steam is collected and cooled, so it condenses back. Okay, so steam collected and cooled. Okay. And then I can put these two over here and just link that formally there. Water condenses. Okay, so steam is collected and cooled, so it condenses back into liquid water. So steam is collected and cooled, so steam condenses back to liquid water. Okay, there we go. Steam condenses back to liquid water. Okay, now the distilled water is pure. It contains no solutes because the solutes in seawater cannot evaporate. Okay, so what I kind of need to do is I need to have that idea as well. So heat the water. I can actually have one idea going upwards, and I can actually say in that idea, in that concept, that the solutes cannot evaporate and they remain behind. Okay, solutes remain behind as they cannot evaporate. Okay, so if I now push that to the place above, okay, so here it is, right? And then just link that arrow here to that bubble. Now what I can do is I can actually move this and I can just manipulate this here. Okay, so the solutes remain behind as they cannot evaporate. Okay, and over here, have we got all of the facts? That's also the input. That's the most important thing. Distilled water is pure; it contains no solutes because the solutes in seawater cannot evaporate. In our left hand, we've got that bit. Distilled water is pure; it contains no solutes. Is what I want to put in. So if I just copy this here, okay, pure. Distilled water is pure and contains no solutes. Okay, so here we go. So just streak that there, and then I want to put another arrow just here. So that's fine. Okay. So here I kind of think I would like to put some information as to why it is that it's safe. Okay, so why safe? Right. Okay, so let's do that, and then we can park that here. Okay, so I've done everything that I need to do. for the first page. I actually quite like this fact over here, I must say. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just do a little fun insertion of that fact, because I really like it. It's a nice UA link there as well. So I'm going to put that fun fact just in the corner here. Now, if I need to move it, I'll move it. Okay, but that's a nice little fun fact. That's just going to help remember the whole experience. In actual fact, what I could do is I can actually put that. I could actually put that as part of my central theme. And so what I could do is I can actually cut around it, but that's for another day. Okay, so I'll just park that there. Now, what's really, really useful to have is this diagram over here. So this diagram, there's a lot of ideas there, but in actual fact, it's like as if it's within its own concept map. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to park it here. Not something that's going to be everywhere here. I'm just going to resize it. And I'd really, really, really like to keep that idea without it getting in the way of the other ideas. So what I can do is I can move this one over here. I can move this one here, and I'll just move this one here. Just move the arrow, connect it up over here. And so I can actually fit that idea. And I think what I might need to do is I might need to move this idea as well. So I'll just move that there. I'll just push that one here. With this arrow, I'm just going to move it over here. So this is why it's really, really useful to do this on the computer, right? So just push that here. And then this Y safe needs to be like here. And then this one over here can go. I'll just zoom in. So I'm just showing you how it can all fit. Let's make that a nice straight line. Okay. And then this one can go over here. I'll just push this arrow here. Now, if you are actually doing this by hand, what you could do is you could consider doing something like this using post-it notes in Rough when you are doing it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So it's a fairly cool idea, especially if you're not quite sure how everything fits together. So you could just do all of the ideas, all of the main ideas like water evaporates to full steam on post-it notes. Right, I just want to try and get an idea as to how much more information I should do. So this is actually, all of this info is actually really, really useful because that's actually a diagram that does need to be put in place. So rather than, I mean, like what I could do is I could break each and every single one down, but this diagram is actually very, very suitable. So I'm going to keep that there as part of the concept map. But then what I could do is I could actually zoom out and I can just say, right, okay, how it's done with seawater. And I kind of would like to have an option of putting it as something that can be done in the laboratory. Okay, so I am thinking, how can I have an arrow going across there? And you could have an arrow going across there. Let's make it a little bit simple. Okay, let's put an arrow from here. And let's have that there. And then I could just say in the lab. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with arrows crossing, so long as in the lab. Okay, as long as it's very, very clear. As long as you don't have the arrows just completely crossing each other to the point where you can't actually figure out what's going on. Okay. Now, the alternative is that I could actually put this idea more so in the middle over here and then just swing everything around. So if I had a bit more time, then I could do that, and I'll give that some due consideration. Okay, so are there any other ideas? Are there any other ideas that I need to come across? Right, okay, so the apparatus shown in diagram C which is this apparatus, is called a still. Stills can use energy from the sun. In 1872, Charles Wilson invented the solar power water still to supply drinking water to a large mining community in Chile, South America. The solar powered still is a cheap way of providing clean water in poor areas of the world. And this basin solar still is actually a diagram of how it works. And today's solar powered stills can be important for providing emergency clean water in remote places and at sea. So, this kind of links to one of the ideas that I've already covered here. So I'm just going to see if I can snip this and pop it closer to this place over here, where I've said helps in regions where water is hard to get. Because it just seems to be a useful place for putting that information. So if I just go like this, okay. If I just drag this across here and then move this over here, I could actually put a picture of the still just in the corner over here, and that would be the the basin solar still. Okay, so if I have enough room here, then what I could do is I can actually move this one across here, and I can actually move this one here, and see whether I can actually fit it in to here. Okay, so there we go. So that doesn't seem to be too bad a fit. Okay, so that's a basin solar still. I just need to make sure that that can fit in here without it cramping. And it does do that. Okay, so a basin solar still. And then what I can do is I can just have something going across to here. I'd like this arrow to actually be going to the center, so I can actually move it down a little more. So if I just do this, click, 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 and move that here, then I can move this over here, and I've got more flexibility now with my concept map. Okay, so if I just move this over here, and then ping it around to here, and then what I can do is I can actually put a little bit of extra text in here. So I can just put that here and just relate it back to where it was in the world. So I believe it was Chile, 1872, Charles Wilson, Chile, South America. Okay. Today, solar power stills can be important for providing emergency clean water in remote places and at sea. So this one over here was the basin solar still. This wasn't. This seemed to be the way in which it worked. So I just need to remember these facts. Let's have a look. So where did I put my Y? I just need to double check. There it is. So 1872, Chile. And then I can put Charles Wilson, I believe it was. Yeah, Charles Wilson. There we go. So we'll give him credit. And mining. So put in all of the ideas here. And I'll just fit that here. And this is a very, very small fact. It's very small. It's very important as well. So we'll just make sure that it fits there. And this part over here can go here. Now, I'd love to put a picture of the inflatable solar still. Okay. Because not only do you have like the solar still, but it actually has it in water as well. Okay, so that could go into my concept map. So I'm going to put this over here. Oops. Put this bit here. And then move that across to here. And then I can put the last bit here, which is the C one. And so if I was revising, I could just remember that as being the one that's at C. Okay, so for emergency usage. Okay, and I think that's pretty much everything that I kind of need to put into the concept map for this particular one. I think there may not necessarily be anything else. I'm just checking. Today's solar power stills can be important for providing emergency clean water in remote places and at sea. I think we've got it. I think we've got everything that we need to put in. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to zoom out here. I'm just going to put these just over here so I can actually put the theme and make it absolutely clear as to what it is that this is all about. And that's it. That's my concept map. And I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope that it's really useful. Thank you very much for watching, and thanks for subscribing and liking the video. Take care. Bye.